What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is Kubi TV, and you are here live on the Road Again show. And I have a special guest for this special edition of On the Road Again. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself to the people?
Owen Saunders. I was here a while ago, a little bit. We're happy to your sound, Kubi. I don't hear you.
You don't hear me?
Nope, I hear you now.
All right, now let's get your volume over there. Go ahead and introduce yourself and give them a little history of what you used to do, and then we'll get right into exactly why we're here tonight.
Okay. Again, my name is Adrene Owen Saunders. I was a program director for a men's shelter. We had about 80 men. And it was a drop-in shelter. So they come and they go. You may see somebody tonight and not see them tomorrow. And you just worry about, are they okay or things like that. But that's pretty much it. I have a dealing with homelessness, prison, domestic violence, substance abuse. So I'm all over the place.
Okay. And I'm going to bring in my co-host. Go ahead and introduce yourself, co-host.
Hi, good evening. My name is Dan. Well, my name is Dan Hal.
There you go.
And I'm part of the Kubi on the Road show, on the Road Again show.
There you go.
Okay. How are you?
How are you? How are you doing?
Okay.
So she was giving us a little bit of background of what she used to do back in the days. She was a counselor. Well, she was the director. Excuse me. Got to get it correct. You know what I'm saying? You can't. It ain't small when you ain't just a worker. When you're a boss, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's different.
Respect on her name.
That's right. We got to. That's right. So, she was
It was Oasis Men's Shelter in New Rochelle, New York.
Okay, New Rochelle, Westchester. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So then a drastic turn happened, and she decided to take a little time off from work. Mm-hmm. I may say that, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're here on a serious note tonight, because this is a topic where a lot of people are not really talking about it, and a lot of people are not reaching out for the help for mental health, mental illness. We take mental illness as a I don't want to say a joke, but I want to say people, automatically say, oh, yeah, right, he ain't got no mental illness, or she ain't got no mental illness. She just crazy. No. People, we need to stop, and we need to really reach out and call for help when we need it.
Yes.
It's a tough topic, it's a tough subject. And I'm glad you're here tonight, and I'm glad you're okay to be able to open up the platform for exactly what's going on because of what happened in your situation, And I really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
You want to say anything, Demetel?
I'm going to say, well, I work for not a methadone, but I work in that community now. Mm-hmm. I was in the private sector for a while, so now I'm in this population, and I will say it has opened my eyes to mental health. Like it is mental health. You don't, until you work in this population, you don't know how many people suffer from mental health.
Sure don't.
And I'm going to give a brief example and then we'll move on. So I have a mental health provider who went on FMLA, and she went on FMLA in January. Mm-hmm. We've had someone covered just to send medication so people could be stable.
Okay.
And not break down their regimen. I've had patients come in because they crying because they missed their medication.
Mm-hmm.
breakdowns, starting to call the DOH, even though they didn't, just a lot of things. However, I want to say today, and because this topic it moves with today. I look because I have to send a list every Wednesday. My list is at 250.
Yes.
Mental illness.
Medication refill patients she went on FMLA in January. From January till today, we have refilled 250 people with medication.
Wow.
It's real.
Wow.
It's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. And I mean, some of them walk in and they're stable because they're on their medication, and some of them are not, but it's real.
It is.
It's real.
Yeah.
So, Adrene, I want you to go ahead and let the world know your story and what happened and went down.
Okay. My son Hashim, as you can see on my shirt here, my boy, 24 years old. September 16th. The room that I'm sitting in right now, I got a phone call from a daughter-in-law in Texas, and she didn't sound right to me. So I said, hold on, let me go get my phone. And I went to his room, which is 10 feet over, and I couldn't get in the door. So I pushed it hard, and he hit the floor. And my brother said I screamed so loud, even asked me on the phone, she said I screamed so loud that it was crazy. Like people upstairs heard. And I tried to get PR and it didn't work. He was already gone. So he was there for a little bit.
And this was 2024, sorry.
Yeah, September 2024. 20 years old. And the thing about it is he had my phone and my watch, I had it on charge. Had I had my watch on, I would have seen that he sent the girl a picture of him about to hang himself. So I didn't see that until it was too late.
Wow.
I'm still standing. It's hard, but I'm here. And talking about, we just spent his 25th birthday on the 30th. And I made sure that I printed out papers so people can call that 988 number. They need to call it. They need to call that.
Yeah.
So it's real. It's real.
So let me ask you,
Mm-hmm.
were there any signs of your son being like had any problems, any concerns?
From when he was young, there was the ADHD, the anger issues and things like that. And we worked on that. But when somebody is over 18, as they say, you grown. You're not grown. 24 years old, and they told me that, he's grown. So I'm saying, but I'm calling you because he's in trouble. What can I do?
Yeah.
And
if he's not a threat to her or a
right.
threat to himself, they won't step in. It's sad.
And then
that mental health population does not get enough services.
No, they don't. And that's the bad part about it. December of 2023, he tried it before. And I was given some heads up, but I was working in New Rochelle. Only thing I could do was call the 988 number. However, they told me, well, you're in New York and he's in Connecticut. I said, so what you're saying? I can't get him help? No, I had to wait until I got home, which I didn't get home until about 10 o'clock that night. That was December 5th. And, I called the police. I called 988 and they said, okay, well, he wasn't here. They said, well, do you know what he had on? I got a text what he had on. I told them. Next thing I know, I hear a noise in his room. And I was like, because I'm the only one here. I'm saying, now, who's in here? And it was him standing in his room. He climbed through his window.
Oh, so he came home.
He came home. And I'm saying, okay. But I still called the police and I told them, I said, he's back. I said, so what are we going to do? They took him to the hospital, but they let him out the next day. They didn't even give him a chance to
They didn't even keep him on hold.
Yeah. And that's what I asked for. I said, you got to keep him in. They said, well, you can't go in there because he's 24 years old. I'm saying, well, hello, there's a problem. There's a huge problem. And, something has to give. They called me. I said, listen, he has mental health issues. He needs to be in therapy. He needs nothing. So now my kid is not here. And, people sit on stuff and they don't want to talk about it, especially in our community. Girl, don't say nothing. Boy, don't say nothing. Shh. Chin up. You're going to be all right.
Right.
And it's a taboo. It for our Black men, it shows a sign of weakness. That it's not okay. They don't see it's okay to get therapy. Some of them are doing it now because you see the celebrities and the rappers talking about it.
Yeah.
But I still feel that's an older generation. You don't hear the younger rappers or the younger entertainers or the younger celebrities who's in their age talking about it.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And I also feel that I've had this thing because I have a family member that suffers and he's unmedicated and he's not productive. And I just feel that just like parolees or people who are incarcerated have to go to a parole officer, if they are diagnosed medically with mental health, there needs to be some type of structure for them also. Like, hey, you have to see your doctor or this is going to happen. I don't know if that would change it.
Right.
But it may light up and, do something for them. It's just sad that, and then they don't realize the families have to live with that.
Yes. And it's sad, just looking at youth in general, what they're going through, what we're going through. They didn't have it like we had it back in the day. You go outside and play. Nope, they on the video game.
Right.
There's no socializing.
That's it. The video game. What happened to going outside, getting some fresh air and doing something like that? But no. And with mental health, if we don't get a grasp on it right away, you may not notice it, But I always watch behaviors, but I can't do anything if they won't give me the opportunity. Now, if he was young back when he was, I had a book about this big with all his information. And every time we went to the doctor, they said, well, do you have this? I said, sure do. And I give it to him. And, but
then once he got grown and he felt that he didn't need it or want it, there was nothing you can do. So like and if it was documented from youth, like if you was on him and you kept the regimen and you kept the book and you did everything to save him, or you acknowledge that there's a problem. When he turned a certain age, you should have had the same support.
Yeah, no, nope. They said he's 24. He's an adult. I said, okay, but this is my kid. What's going on with him?
Yeah.
And he needs, I don't know.
Well, hold on to everybody. Hold on to your thoughts and conversations real quick. We're going to a quick commercial break.
Okay.
Yes, everybody, we back. This is On the Road Again. I'm Kubi TV,
Damn it to hell.
and we have a dream here, and we're talking about mental health and suicide. Her son had taken his life, and she has reached out to people when she needed to, and the people didn't do their jobs.
Right.
Basically, that's the system definitely did not do their job. I don't
want to say
understand
that
how.
there's a system. I don't want to say the system fails because I feel there's no system.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if it's failing, then it is none. You're right.
Mhm.
And it's crazy that you reach out to these programs, to these places, to these numbers they tell you to reach out to. But what the funny thing is, when you reach out to them, the first thing they ask you for is your health insurance.
Health insurance, and
So once you give them the health insurance, they run the code, and then they get paid for just having a 2-second conversation with you,
that's it.
and
But
that's
I
all they
will
care
say
about.
yes and no.
Okay.
And I say that from the fact of I work for a federally qualified census, so we see any and everything. If you don't have insurance, if you're documented, undocumented, you can literally come in there with no insurance and they'll put you on a sliding scale fee and you can see a mental health provider. You can see a therapist and you pay nothing if you have no insurance. But the thing is,
Now, how long am I sitting there waiting? I'm waiting 9 hours.
maybe 2.
Am I going to get put in the back burner after I see him that day? My next schedule is 5
you
months
get
from
treated
now.
You get treated like a regular patient. You come whenever you need to. It's just that you may have to pay. Your medication may not be covered because you don't have insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find
a waiting list. Though you got to think about the waiting list. The waiting list. By the time
I will say it depends where. Yeah.
That waiting list is long. It's long. It's bad. Even when my son was young, just a waiting list just to have him go into the program.
And you know what, Mom, you're right. Waiting list for children for pediatric services is at least 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that? That is too long. Now my child is not doing well. My child is off the cliff now. 3 to 6 months to wait to be seen is retarded.
Yeah, but it's true. Because I feel that there's more. I'm going to say 2 things. I'm going to give the good and the bad. I want to say there's a shortage.
Shortage of what?
Therapists and providers and those things. There's a shortage. And then you have parents who are clogging up the system because they want to check their child.
Well, he couldn't get one. And I said, what the hell?
But
some people need a check. Some people need a check.
Yeah, some people.
I understand.
Some people want to get a check because their child, they didn't raise their child, or they let their child that she runs and all of a sudden something's wrong with her because they were told they can get a check.
Right.
Okay, now I don't want to check. I need services. I need you to help me out. Guess what? I'm still on the waiting list.
Yeah,
that's not right. This is what I'm saying. It has to be a change. It has to start sometime today. It got to change.
It does.
It has to change. Why do we have to wait till somebody hurts themselves? Why do we have to wait till somebody is in the front of police because they ain't on their medication and the police is saying put that down, but I'm not here. And you have you're aware. The crazy thing is a lot of the police officers know these people, know the parent, know the child, the adult, the woman, the man that have mental illness. They know it and they seen them before. They even took him to the hospital before. And now all of a sudden you want to shoot him because he got a knife in his hand. You already know he's sick. You know he must be or she must be not on their medication. That's why they acting this way. And you're not doing anything about it. But pulling out a gun when you got 15 officers standing there. Y'all all can just say, screw it. We all gonna shoot taser at the same time. Come on.
Yeah, that's bad. Bad. It's bad. It's bad. One of the clients I had in the shelter there was killed not far from the shelter. You know, it's that, you know, and he had mental health issues. You know.
Oh yeah.
So it's really, and now I see that some of the officers are being trained in mental health and how to deal with them, but some of them are not.
No.
You
know,
no,
they don't know how to deal with them. They don't.
And that's also a problem. You know?
I have a patient that comes to me, and he tells you his mental health is he has to come monthly for injections. That's it. He has injections, and he takes medication.
Okay.
And he literally comes because he knows, and he doesn't know it's medication. The pills are medication. He calls them his vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
So he just knows that when he comes in, he gets his injection, and his vitamins have to go to the pharmacy, which is still mental health medication.
Okay.
He doesn't understand, like, you know, she's not here right now. I'm going to have somebody send it later on today. No, it have to go now. I have to go now. If I don't get my vitamins, and he says, he'll tell you, I get violent. He tells you, I get violent. If I don't get my medication, I'm gonna get violent. I'm gonna get violent. I'm gonna get violent. I don't want to get violent. I need my, like, it sets his anxiety to a level.
Yeah.
So you literally have to say, okay, like last week, I want to say he came and he sat there for 2 hours. Because I said, don't worry, go home. I don't want to go home and come back. I don't want to go. I need my vitamins.
Yep.
And he sat there 2 hours to wait for a doctor to come to send the medication.
And why do we have to wait 2 hours? Why isn't there a doctor on site? Why can't he can just sit in his office
issue was that
and sleep until he needed? So what?
My issue why he had to wait 2 hours was because, remember, the doctor who treats him isn't in.
But there are records. It is all documented.
Right, but the doctor who has to sign the medication is a different doctor, and he's not a mental health doctor. So
listen, we're making too many excuses.
But I'm saying, listen, I have one mental health provider. I have one mental health provider who can prescribe medication, and she sees at least over 100 patients a week. That's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yes, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over 100 a week.
Right. So who you looking for said, I don't agree. I deal with the. Go ahead, Kim, read that because I ain't got my glasses.
Yeah, with it.
I deal with this on a daily basis. Insurance companies will tell us this person just received services 2 weeks ago and can't receive them again for 30 days. Can't receive what? I deal with the ID, DD, and mental health population. And it's so sad that people are more worried about money than helping people. I don't know what ID and DD is. But it is. It's true. You have to have a special bill.
There are doctors and nurses. They don't care.
Yeah.
That's true.
I feel like every hospital should have a mental health department. You're right, and they don't. Mostly the only ones that have a mental health department is the city hospitals. Private hospitals don't have it.
No.
I think the only one that really has to be honest, besides Jacoby, in our side up here in the Bronx,
233rd.
You have mental health up there? There's mental health up there?
Yeah, we have a facility. Yep.
Okay.
And we have a floor for it.
Okay. Because I would say besides that, White Plains, where White Plains by was the New York Presbyterian has a hospital up there in White Plains.
That's St. Vincent's too. That's in Harris.
And St. Vincent's, yep. Yep. But unless you have the money, you sending them off site somewhere.
Mhm.
Right. Right. I hear that.
You
That's
also
true.
have to be cautious with doctors giving medication, just giving any medication. I remember when Hashim was about 9 years old, they gave him Adderall because he was busy, busy,
Mm.
busy, busy. Well, if y'all don't keep him busy, then he's going to be busy. You know,
Right.
punched the wall and broke his hand.
Because when he came
Wow.
down off of it,
Yeah,
when
and
he came, when
like you
he,
said, angry. You know,
Mhm.
I want to go on this trip, but they're telling him you're too bad. You can't go. He's
Yeah.
not. He's busy. He needs something to do. And now you just took what he could do, asked it from him. I got him into the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, so he had a big brother. That was cool. When at his funeral, I didn't know that he taught Hashim how to drive, but he said
Oh
they
wow.
went to this big empty lot, and then he just drove around in circles, drove around in circles. I said, so that's why this boy was driving so fast, and he started. He said, so I had him in a lot of different things. I had him in the respite program. They would come and take him to different things and things like that. But you know, um, I had people tell me to put him in a group home. I said, no, this is my
No.
kid. I'm not doing that. I said,
Right.
this is bad. You know,
Yeah, it's not that he's bad.
right,
He's
right,
not a bad kid. He just was misguided,
mm,
probably misdiagnosed, because they're quick to say that they need ADD.
yeah,
But what I've learned is sometimes the kids that are ADD as a child,
hmm,
when they get older, it's like a bipolar or it's a depression. It's one of
right,
those. Oh, she
hmm,
said intellectual disability disabled. Okay.
hmm,
It's one of those. But they're quick to label them ADD as
hmm,
a child.
yeah,
But then when they get to an adult, it's, oh, he's bipolar. Oh, he's manic depressive. He
hmm,
could have been all of this as a child. Why did
yeah.
he have to be labeled ADD?
But you know what they told me? He wasn't even. He had to be 18 to be diagnosed with personality disorders. I said, he could be one moment and Freddy Krueger the next. And they said, well, no, mom, no. I said, I'm telling you, something is wrong with my son. I said,
Yeah.
it's like being in a horror movie. Um, my kid's standing over top of me. Something is wrong with my son. So y'all need to help me figure it out. And then when they started giving him different medications, he would blow up like a balloon, or he wouldn't sleep, or he was too agitated. I mean, I put him on a football team. I hit people, and you won't get.
Mm,
You
okay.
understand? So let's go. Let's go hit some people. Nope, he didn't want to run around the track. His coach laughing. They said, "Oh, him again." But finally he got it. And when he high school, he had some good stats. He was good. But
So he was high school because he
Ooh,
was able to play football, challenged him and
mm,
kept him level. But then now
yeah,
he's out of high school, so he
yeah,
doesn't have that anymore. He doesn't have that outlet anymore.
no.
what
no.
school did he go to?
He went to Hastings on Hudson and
Oh,
but he
okay.
left St. Christopher's, because the Scholastic Academy in Yonkers said no, he's too violent, he's too. So we got to get him someplace else. Like literally, they met me at the gate with him. They said he can't come back here no more. And I'm saying,
Wow.
but help me out. You have a lot of other kids who's doing the same thing, but because I'm a working mom, it's different from me. Why?
Right.
You'll
Right.
have this other child who doesn't have anything, who's in the system and stuff like that, or a working mom.
All the
You're
services.
thinking
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, So we had not CPS, but we had like peer coordinators for him that would come and sit and stuff like that, and would just watch him and see how he acts and things like that. So I think there's a long of you know y'all got to help me out. I don't know what else to do. I'm doing the best I can. So he went to St. Christopher's Academy. That's also in Dobbs Ferry. And he's tall to play basketball, but basketball wasn't it for him. You know, he had too many fouls. So you can't hit
Right,
basketball,
right,
you know?
right.
So
You only got 5 of them. You only hit 5
that's
times,
it.
and then you're done. That's it. Yeah.
So the coach from
A
the
real solid
Hastings High School came over and asked for some of the guys, and they went. And he had friends. They came to his birthday celebration. You know, um, they as you can see, most of them on there. Mama Love, wherever you see them, love you, Ma. Those are some
Yeah.
football people. So. Um, it's a hard thing, I'm saying, like, and what bothers me is I was right here in the house. I was just on
That's
the side of the,
crazy.
I was on the other side of the house. So
Mm.
And only if you had your
my wife,
watch on your wrist.
yeah,
But I think he took her phone for a reason. He did. He they say they. So I've heard they always say, and you and I spoke about this earlier. The ones that say, "Oh, I'm going to harm myself," are usually the ones that don't.
right, exactly,
The
exactly.
ones that do,
Hmm.
they're setting at the stage for them to do it quietly. They like he planned it.
He did, because the Sunday before he passed on Monday, the Sunday before, we had a whole conversation sitting on the couch. He said, when I'm going, I know you're going to use my bedroom as a storage. You're going to put everything in the bedroom and da 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 da. I was like, why would I do that? Just don't come back.
Mm,
You're going to have to go back in your room and things like that. I'm hearing him, but I'm not hearing him because he's talking
Wow.
the thing that he's always talking. So, I should have picked up on it, but I didn't. That morning that he
mhm.
came in at 10:04. He said, "Mom, can I have $20?" I said, "Oh God, you know, I ain't got no money, boy." I gave him the $20. Right. I noticed that at 10:12, he texted his dad for $29. I'm saying, like, what do you need all this money for? Okay. So, and that was the last. Until I got my phone, I saw the text at 10:18 with the picture of the belt hanging on his door. And I'm saying, wow, if I had my phone, I would have seen that.
But what made your daughter-in-law call you?
She was
You
going through
said,
her own situation.
oh, okay, okay. The
So,
way you
but
said in the beginning that she called you and she sounded, weird. I thought she like knew too.
no,
She
she
was going through
brought
something else.
her own situation, and it
Okay.
didn't sound right to me. So it spiked I'm like, wait, hold on. Let me go get my phone so I can see you, because I want to see your face.
Oh,
I want to
okay.
see what's going on.
Right.
That's it. And it's like right across from this room that I'm sitting in. And I'm saying, like, well, wow, wow, wow. So,
And
um,
how are you dealing?
Yeah, that's the question.
How are you coping? How are you trying to get, because you're never going to be the same. You're going to live
yeah.
for a broken heart forever. But how do you try?
Well, but as they say, try is a fail, so don't say try. I'm doing
Okay.
that. Um, but I know that if I break down, then like
Hmm.
dominoes, everybody else is gonna fall. So I'm good. They keep saying, "Ma, go ahead, cry, cry, cry." I
You
said,
have to.
I'm good. I'm good. I said I cried the day that I found him, and I
Okay.
cried for a moment at his funeral when they sung "Lord Do It." Somebody sung that, and it made me stop, like literally stop in my tracks. But the funny thing is, for the past couple of days, I've been seeing him, like people that look like him, like out, and I'm sending it to the kids. I'm saying, why is the boy outside? What is he doing outside? What is he doing over here? What is it? So I have to keep it up, because if I break down, then everybody gonna fall like dominoes. So I'll have my moment. I don't know when it's gonna be. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. And you know it's going to come now.
It's gonna come. It's gonna. I mean,
Okay.
my mom died in '99. I still ain't still happy for her. So it's I'm the matriarch Well, one of them is the last living sibling of her generation, and then it's me. So
Mm.
keep it all together. When somebody says they're going to kill themselves, you ask how, what to do when, yeah. So, yeah, that's
Yeah, it's just it's just very tough. I mean, because we have to help.
yeah,
We have to get. We have to have somewhere to be able to go to get this type of help. And I mean, we ain't talking about insurance. We ain't talking about cash. We talking about somewhere. Has the doors have to be open 24 hours. Phone lines got to be open 24 hours to be able to get this help. Like you can call, and then it has to be a way to have them be able to come out to the house. Like CPS, when you get a phone call about somebody next door is beating the hell out of their parent, out of their child. Oh, they at your door in 25 minutes.
yep,
You know what I'm saying? It should be something like that, a program designed just for this. Because it's sad because we need the help.
yeah. They have mobile crisis teams, but sometimes they're overworked,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying. So there is, different things, different places to go, but a person has to go or want
The
to go.
mental health population is very overworked, understaffed, and underpaid.
Hmm.
And that's where the money needs to go.
Yeah,
The money need to
And the
go to them.
people that do it, to be honest,
They do it
they
out of love.
they do it out of love,
hmm,
but a lot of them do it for private practice.
yeah.
Because to be honest, mental health pays. Mental health, insurance wise, pays.
Hmm.
It pays. So, or if it doesn't pay, they'll work it out with you. But yeah, we have a mental health skill building intensive in-home mobile crisis. Is that because you work with the IDs and the DDs? What is it? Intellectual disabilities and those disability centers?
Yeah. So we're gonna take
That's probably
another.
of disability centers like where she works at. There's not a lot of those.
Mm.
And those probably just go for, like she said, they have to have some type of disability.
Mm. Yep.
We're gonna go to another quick commercial break, and we'll be right back, y'all.
Okay.
People, you're carrying the co-owner. Oh.
And this right here
It's
is
a
a
po'
boy.
boy.
This is a po' boy.
Look how thick that is.
With some Cajun fries.
Some Cajun. North Carolina.
You know what?
You got so much weight. We want
I want you to have a real reaction.
I got a reaction. I can't wait up. Woo-hoo. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What kind of hot sauce do you carry?
Louisiana hot
Oh,
sauce.
now.
Louisiana hot sauce. Don't tell me you want some right now.
You got it?
I have it. But you know, we're not open yet.
Right.
We're not open yet, so I couldn't get it out of inventory.
We got a straw.
This is freshly squeezed lemonade.
This is delicious. This is really good.
This is. You got the love.
What are you tasting now?
Very good.
I taste that lemon.
And what?
From Florida. Oh my gosh, she is giving us the banana pudding. Let me just tell you what I think about banana pudding. When I think about banana pudding, it makes me think about the time when I was. How good it was. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to tell you, the banana is cut so perfect. I will show you. I will show you. Banana's cut. Let me get a little closer. Just let me get a little closer. I'm getting ready to tease you.
There you go.
Boy, your mama mad now. I know she mad. But she
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. That was world's famous funniest moments.
That looks good.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
made me hungry a little bit right now.
yeah. Too bad that place is not up and going anymore. It just
Oh wow.
sorry. Yeah, but
Dang.
damn it, the hell texted me and said, "Would you get rid of that old video?" But yeah, so we back. This is on the road again, and we touching some very important topic about mental health, and yeah, so we got to figure this thing out, though. I mean, we got to find a way to open the doors, get funding, get it all over the place where everybody can. It's accessible for everyone, and they could just make one call and really get some true help. Not just a 1 day help, not a 2 day help, month, 6 to years worth of help until you see the big time change and difference.
It's all about funding and things like that. And just as Wade said, dual diagnosis. Um, you have the substance abuse, and then you have your mental health, and they're playing on each other. And you have to be very careful with that. Um, I don't think it's true. I learned that the hard way when he said that to me. My response to him was, "You wouldn't be telling me I thought the same thing." That's my daughter, his sister.
Okay.
Oh, I think she's piggybacking when I said that when they don't do it when they tell you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of us are like trying to
everybody, but you guys, like she said, the biggest regret of her life. You can't blame yourselves.
No.
None of y'all should blame yourselves. You shouldn't feel guilty, and you can't live with the what ifs.
Right. And I've been doing is I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, what if I would have looked at the watch? What if I would have,
Because if he didn't, the thing is, like you said, he tried it in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
He would have tried it again if he would have keep trying. Even if you try to interfere, he would have kept doing it.
Right.
So you guys can't beat yourself up, and I can say it, but I'm not in your shoes.
Right.
But I want to say, don't try to hold the blame, and don't live with the guilt. The whole family should not live with the guilt.
True.
Because you're blocking yourself from healing, even though you'll never fully heal. I had a lady tell me the other day she lost her daughter. She said, "I'm forever going to live with a broken heart, but I'm here."
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you guys just have to be here in the presence.
Yeah. And just celebrate him, even though
Celebrate him.
Yeah.
And since we're talking about counseling, grief counseling.
Yeah.
Look into it, try it. It helps.
What we'll do is, damn it to hell, it'll definitely help me out with that. Let's try to get some links or telephone numbers, and I can put it in the description later on today. So you can go back and watch the show and then get the links and numbers to be able to get that type of help. Because that's, that's what
plan for your child.
Yeah.
Another thing is creating I don't know what a safety plan is, and I don't know how you can create it and execute it. If this is what their mind is set to do. A child, maybe yes, but we have to understand that he was a young adult. So
yeah, and what's so funny that, well, it's not funny, but what I'm saying is that, in my household, I get on my son. I'll be like, "Yo, stop closing this damn door. Leave this door open. Don't be closing there ain't no closed doors in here." Like my bedroom actually door is always open. Like, you know what I'm saying? There ain't no closed doors in here. And then you find the door closed, and so, it's just, it's hard because you're trying to be an adult, and then you're trying to give people some privacy too. But You know, you just never know. You know.
Right. You know.
Yeah. Like my son literally sits in his room. Like we'll be in both our rooms in this whole house, and both our doors is closed. And one day I said to him, like, I'll get up sometimes and I'll get up and walk around, but he'll be in there all day. And I said to him, I'm gonna drop that in my room. Something happened to me. You ain't gonna check on me for 3-4 days.
Mm.
Right.
I said, shit.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out, bathroom room, leaves the house.
Machine was. Unless he had OCD too. So he would get on a cleaning frenzy and he would empty his entire room into my kitchen and living room.
Oh,
and
wow.
A couple of days to put it back. I'm saying, like, you gonna do something with this? Because I can't get in and out and stuff like that. But he's doing that since he was little. And if he sees something that place, he will fix it. I'm saying, but that's my stuff. I have organized chaos, but I know where it is. You ask me for it, I'll find it. You know?
Sister, that is me. The people don't understand that organized chaos is a real thing.
It's real. It's really real. You know.
I know that I dropped that pen behind the bed and I didn't go get it, but I know when I want that pen, it's behind the bed.
It's right.
Now, if you go pick it up, I don't know where the pen is and I'm confused.
Hello. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's how organized chaos mind works.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But, you know,
wow.
That they can call is 988. That's numbers. That's everywhere. That's like, you know, up in Connecticut, down there in New York, you know, not. And when we did,
so it is Connecticut bound.
Yeah, no, but you can do 988 down there in New York, but you know, I had to do it up here. So, you know, when I got home, that's when I was able to call 988 and they hooked me up to the police department and you know.
So wait, because if 988 is, let's say, statewide,
mm-hmm.
Even if I call from New York,
yeah,
and I say I'm in New York and my son is in Connecticut and I'm en route, let's say, they're not going to help you.
No, I have to, when I get to Connecticut.
But they're not going to transfer you to Connecticut 988.
No, you have to call when you get to Connecticut. So as soon as I hit the Greenwich, that's Connecticut, I started calling. You know.
I guess it does like transfer over with the. I guess I see what you're saying. Wow.
Yeah, no. Because I'm saying, well, why? I said, I'm down here and he's up there. I don't know what's going to go on by the time I get home, blah, 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 blah. And they said, no, when you get to Connecticut, you can call.
You have to call.
And see, now that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's plain stupid.
But somebody said in the comments, it's like 911.
Yeah.
Or somebody said that. If you dial 911 here, even though 911 is across the board, if you dial 911 here, it's not going to send somebody in Connecticut.
No.
And that's stupid.
Yeah. Because of the OMHP, I don't know what that is. The ping to get the location and
listen, I'm pinging you a location when I call.
But we also have to understand,
I need you to go here.
But you
it's
also
going
have to
down.
As close as they are, it's still a different state.
Yeah.
Are you hearing what I said?
Even though Connecticut is 20 minutes away, it's
Did you hear what I said? I'm making a phone call. My house is being robbed. How do you know it's being robbed? Because I'm looking at it on my phone.
Right.
You better call somebody. You better call your neighbor.
Can you please get in touch with the Connecticut, or I don't care who you call them, because it's being robbed. You understand? Come on.
Call your neighbor.
Yeah, my neighbor's scared.
Tell your neighbor to call 911. Yeah. Call your neighbor.
There you go. Right. Tell your neighbor to call 988.
988. But,
yeah, that's crazy.
For a person who's feeling like that, I don't know if any of you had things like that about driving down the road or something like that, and you're going to veer off the road, or a truck is going to hit you or something like that. You're thinking about, something could happen to me, or you're thinking about, I'm like, I'm done. I'm tired. I don't.
Right.
I can't do this no more. So if a truck hits me, a truck hits me, or if I, roll off the road, I roll off the road. You know. So my history with mental health is when I was 17 years old. Um, I took my grandmother's pills and was in the hospital for about 2 weeks.
Mm.
Wow.
Thing to me, but I was a teen mom. I had my son 8 days after my 17th birthday on Father's Day. No doubt.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Yeah. And Mister brings his girlfriend to my house, picked my baby up out of his crib, and walked down. And my mom, she had the foghorns, real loud.
Yeah, yeah.
I rung that. I went outside. Was split from rooter to the tutor with that boy, and I rung it, and she said, "Get my grandson back up the street, back up the hill." And from there, I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
So your son's father came with his girlfriend in your house and took your baby.
Took my baby, my oldest son, yeah, with his new girlfriend. Like, I'm saying, like, what are you doing? And I was stitched up, so I couldn't like move the
You
way I,
couldn't even,
you know. And I just rung that thing, man, and she came out and get him back to back there real quick. So I was there. My grandmother left me. You know, she moved down south, and I said, I'm not going. I have a kid. I have to take care of my responsibilities and do what I have to do for my kid. You know, and my mom was in her situation and really didn't want to be in that situation, but I had, you know, um, but don't kill you, make you stronger. And without a test, you don't have testimony. So um, I have a test. I have testimony,
Yes, you
So
have it.
you know, it was rough, but I'm still here.
Listen, you have a place at any time you want. You get
That
in
is
touch
right.
with me. You can have this platform for yourself if you want your own, to talk to people, to open the doors up, or whatever you want to do. You got it right here on the road and Kubi TV network. You can have your own show once a week, twice a week, whatever you want. We will provide it for you here at this platform. So you just let me know what you want to do, and we set it up and we get it together, and you can run a nice little show or open door conversations, whatever you want to do right here to help you,
Thank,
because
thank
we
you.
are here to help you too. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that. Appreciate
So I
that.
have one question. What do you do to keep yourself, because you're not working anymore?
No, not
So
working.
what are you doing to keep yourself busy or occupied or
I
not?
Well, they'll laugh at me. My kids, they're saying, "Ma, come out." Like one of my daughters, she's saying, "Ma, come down and cook Easter dinner for me." I was like, "Say what now?" But no, I do ancestry.com now that I'm not working. I have time to search for folks in my family, and I like to do. I have that Pocket FM. I listen to these stories. When one story ends, I listen to another story, and they're intrigued. And I'm saying, "What? No, you didn't." Like, I'm yelling at the phone. Like the phone, you can't talk back. I take
She
some
said,
courses.
please come cook for us.
You know, I take some courses online and things like that. But there was a couple of weeks that I was like, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't Leave me alone.
Yeah, you're
Just
gonna have those moments,
leave me
but it's a
alone.
moment.
Yeah. But people don't understand that. Like, you don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone. I'm not being mean. I
Right.
don't want to be bothered. I mean, I
Yeah.
even pajamas that'll say, like, I'm calm right now, but I done slapped you 3 times. Like, and Rob, yes, especially Rob. I'm saying, look at your shirt. Look at your shirt. You see what it says?
Right,
It's
right.
slapped 3 times, boy. Get out of here. Leave me alone. But you're right. If it wasn't for my brother Rob being here with me at that time, I don't know how how I would have been, able. I mean, I didn't go into parent mode. I went into paramedic mode because I was a paramedic back in the day. And
Okay.
so I went into that mode. And I was just trying to do CPR and all thing, but he was there too long. And when the police got here, they kept me in the kitchen and they said, well, we're working on him. I said, he's already gone. What are y'all doing? Y'all don't have to work on him no more. I know he's gone. No, and then they came back out and they said, well, the doctor wants us to bring him to the hospital because she's going to try something. I said, what's she going to try? He gone. It's nothing else you can do. But what it was is hindsight is 2020. She didn't want him to stay here until the coroner got here. So
Okay.
let's
Because those coroners don't come.
right. So she definitely yeah. So she said no. Bring him here. He had the Lucas on him. That's the one that does the chest compressions automatically and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But he's gone already. Y'all can take that off of him. And that was the most I cried at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
Why didn't I should have, I would, and they were telling me there's nothing you can do. Because I even had to, I said, the officer wanted to know where my phone was. And I said, it's in his room somewhere, but y'all won't let me go in there. They said, no, you got your watch on, right? So they pressed some kind of buttons. I said, I don't know how to work this thing. My daughter gave it to me. I don't know.
Right.
So he pressed it in, they got the phone, and they were looking at the texts that were going back and forth to the person he was texting. So that person knew and didn't say anything. She knew before in December, and she called me. She told me what he had on, and bop. This time, no. So
Wow.
I was like, all right, it's okay.
And going forward, and this goes to everyone that's watching and paying attention to the show. You get those phone calls. There's no such thing as I'm not a snitch or I'm not telling. There's no such thing as that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gotta get rid of that. You see somebody that shot somebody that and you know who did it. You need to tell, man. I don't want to hear all that. I ain't no snitch. I ain't this, but man, it ain't no such thing as that, man.
Because what happens?
You know,
Shut up, boy. Freaky is Robert is saying that his name is Freaky. So shut up. Get out of here.
sit down and just sit down and have a Coors Light.
Sit down and have a Coors Light. You heard him. Go sit down. But
my name is Freaky.
Yeah, his name is Freaky. He's a mess. But with the things that's going on, I moved Hashim up to Connecticut because I was worried about the things that were going on in Yonkers. So I mean, yes, he hated me for moving him all the way up here to West Bumaboo. But I said, listen, at least I know that you're okay. You're not on the corner. You're not getting shot. And Yonkers is getting really bad right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people that my grandson and son played football with are either in jail or dead.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's so sad because everybody's going through something, but they don't want to talk about it
at all. And they need to. They need to. Everybody needs to tell somebody. And when you get that phone call, if you don't know the right answers to give, make another phone call to someone older that might have that right answer. You know what I'm saying? Just please make sure you tell somebody. If you ever get a phone call or a text, I'm thinking about hurting myself, you better call their parents ASAP.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the parents' number, you need to call somebody.
Yeah, somebody. Somebody who knows somebody. So, I just wish that I had that moment, and it was right there because right under his picture of the belt hanging on the door, it says "See you in hell," and that was
wow.
So he just left my room. I should have went over to get my phone like I normally do, but I said, okay, well, he got the phone, And that's it. You know, that's it.
Wow.
We talked. You know,
Well, like I
we
said,
talked that Saturday. We talked Sunday. We talked. You know, he was talking to Freaky and messing with Freaky. You know, so we didn't think that was
yeah,
going. You know,
right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, like I told you before, you want to have a platform to talk, to just to vent. If you want to vent to everybody and people, let's sit down, talk, and we'll organize something and make sure it could be something, once a month or twice a month, whatever you want, however you want to do it. I'm here for you. You know that.
This can be your outlet. If you need this to be your outlet, we can be your outlet.
Okay.
If you want to be a co-host on the show with us, you could be a co-host on the show with us.
You could take.
You know what I'm saying? So you definitely take my spot. But yeah.
But it was very nice to meet you. I really this was a great conversation. I want to say since I've started, this is one of our better shows or best shows yet to me. I sympathize with you.
Yes.
I can't empathize, but I sympathize with you, and I wish you well.
Thank
and
you.
I wish your grieving process. It's going to be a long journey. It's a forever journey.
Yeah.
There's something I saw the other day. There's no end date to grief.
No.
So you take your time and you grieve. But don't sit in that house. Get out, enjoy it.
You need to go and take that trip down there and do some cooking for real.
He would not want you to sit in that house.
Seriously,
okay?
Take that trip.
Take that
That'll
trip.
be a nice trip, especially with your husband with that broken elbow. He needs.
Oh, listen, him that broken elbow. He done took the brace off and everything. He's doing all kinds of lifting speakers up and stuff. There's speakers all in the room. I mean,
he ready to get back to DJing, huh?
Hey, look, I'm just gonna pan around my room. Okay?
I see it. Yeah.
All right. I got DJ stuff over here.
There we go.
Over there. And this is my little area right here, which
right
is
there.
Very small.
There you go.
That's it. It's very small.
That's it. That's all you have.
That's all I got. Just this little space. I'm surrounded by speakers and controllers and laptops, and that's it.
Right.
That's it.
I want to thank you so much for being on the road again with us.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely. And at this time, we got one segment to do, and then we're going to end the show. Hold on.
I wasn't born and raised in the projects. I was born and raised around men. Okay? Don't let this 9 to 5 fool you. I am a totally different person after 5 o'clock.
So, before y'all come in my comments, y'all know I get sensitive and I'll tell you about your daddy and sisters. But I do have something to say.
You bitches gotta do better. You thirsty bitches got to do better.
I wasn't ready today. However,
okay.
Let me freestyle this.
Okay.
This is to the younger generation of parents who I've been seeing lately, and I'm gonna say this: these kids are running amok. I said this last night. I was in the mall yesterday at Bay Plaza. I thought after a couple of weeks ago there was an episode in Bay Plaza and the kids were banned. However, kids 15, 16, 17 are in there and they're about to start a fight. I understand it's spring break. I get you guys didn't do anything or plan anything, but these young kids are running the streets too freely. And the streets aren't playing. And as we just discussed, there is people out here who are unstable, who just hurting people's kids. So I'm asking these parents to, if you can, bring your kids in. Bring your kids in. It's a lot going on out in these streets, and these kids are walking around too freely. That's my quick segment today.
Thank you so much, damn it to hell. I just want everybody to know you can purchase your On the Road Again calendar.
I know
Yeah.
you lying to me.
Yes, we do have calendars now. On the road again calendar.
That wasn't in
With
my
all
group
our-
chat. I don't have one. What are we doing?
Yeah, I was going to surprise you guys if we was in studio tonight.
Well, you could have held it to next.
Yes. Well, it's okay. I'll bring yours when we meet again in the studio. I want to thank everybody for tuning
wait,
in.
hold on. I'm glad I see hindsight. Because that looked like a hat too.
Oh, yes, we have merchandise too. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a on the road again hat. Yes.
So you make sure you bring my hat and my calendar next week, please.
Yes, you got it. Yes. So if you're interested in getting the on the road again merchandise, please hit us up and we will get that to you. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to tonight's show. I want to thank you again, Adrene. And listen, we here for you. You already know. Just hit me up. Let's make it happen. I gotta get in touch with your husband because I want to put him on the new show that we got coming up. It's called Something to Talk About, and world famous is the head honcho of that show, and that's a music. It's basically music and talk type show.
Right.
So we were looking for a DJ, and I thought about your husband.
Mhm.
So
Well, he
we're
has
gonna
enough
try to make that
equipment.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's right. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all. God bless and good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
Appreciate
Take
you
care.
guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yo.